Saturday, November 7th. You watched the last episode. I moved up the hill where I saw those bucks pass by. There were a couple buck beds up here. I don't know if they're buck or doe bedding, but there are some beds up here and some nice trails, really thick. And wouldn't you know, I just saw a buck walk right by my spot where I was 2 weekends ago. The wind picked up. I tried to call to him, grunt, or I don't think he heard it. For sure it was a buck. I don't know. I don't think it was super big, but it was easy to tell it was a buck. So it was about 9 o'clock we saw that buck. I did a practice draw, and as I was letting up, I hit this rope here, my bridge, and I sent an arrow into a tree about 10 yards, way up in a tree, 10 yards away. So I'm down to 2 arrows. So it's pretty hot today. It's supposed to get up to 75, which is terrible for deer movement, but it is the rut. It's November 7th, so I think we're going to sit till maybe 11 o'clock. I'm with my friend hunting. He's about 75 yards away, covering another runway, and probably go walk back to the truck, get some lunch, and come on back out and sit for the rest of the day. So right, we're in our second spot now. It's about 3:30. Moved to a different spot. Got about an hour and 45 minutes left. Just saw that one buck this morning. My friend Chris was on the opposite side of a ridge, and he heard a buck grunt, but didn't see it, so he didn't see anything. But now we're onto a different spot. Saw some scrapes and rubs, plenty of scrapes and rubs, but I don't think they're relating to scrapes or rubs right now. They're just running all over the place. So hopefully we can get a doe to walk by with a big buck to follow it. Stay tuned. All right, Sunday, November 8th. Back hunting again. Just got all set up here. It's a quiet morning, less windy today. Still going to be hot, a little bit less hot than yesterday. Yesterday was 75. I think it's supposed to be high of like 70 or 69 today. So real still morning. I kicked up a big deer coming in. I'm hoping they're going to move here the first couple hours of the day. We'll see what happens. Alright, so I didn't have a lot of deer footage. I did see that one at, I think it was about 9 o'clock mid-morning on Saturday. And again, it walked right by the tree I was in the previous 2 weekends. It was really, really hot. I'm not able to take time off, a week or two off during deer season. My job just doesn't allow for that. I'm pretty much a weekend warrior. And you know, you plan your hunts. 8th and 9th should be prime time during the rut here in Wisconsin, and turned out to be super, super hot. October 26th or whatever that weekend was, that I saw those 2 bucks. That was a better weekend because that was a cold front. So I wasn't too excited about the weather. Had that not been the rut, I probably wouldn't have been hunting if it's going to be 70 degrees. But we did see that one on Saturday. And Sunday morning, as I was walking in, I kicked up a really nice buck, real close to the parking area actually. and he ran up towards where I was going to sit, but I never did see anything the rest of that day as well. I sat for half the day Sunday. But you know, you go when you can go, and sometimes you can't control the weather. If I was retired or I had a job where I could take a month off, I could definitely play the weather patterns a little better. I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments below about hunting in the rut when it's super, super hot or hotter than normal. If you have any tips or tricks you want to share, or things you do or don't do. I know it can be done, obviously. I think most of the breeding is probably done at night, I'm guessing, when it's that hot. But I still saw some bucks during the day. All right, some scripture I want to share is Hebrews 1, verses 10 through 12. It says, "In the beginning, O Lord, you laid the foundations of the earth, and the heavens are the work of your hands. They will perish, but you remain. They will all wear out like a garment. You will roll them up like a robe. Like a garment, they will be changed. But you remain the same, and your years will never end." Just meditating that God's years will never end, and He always remains the same. That's a constant. We can't really say that about anything else in the entire world, that it will never end. I don't want deer season to come to an end, but we're getting closer and closer. Right now, it's actually the beginning of December when I'm filming this, but you know, I'm going to sad to see deer season go, but that's why I scout, both on foot and digitally scout also in the off season, and shed hunt and find new spots. I'm sure many of you do too, because you just don't want it to end. It's a continual process. Or maybe if you have private land, you're making your land better, improving your land, or stuff like that. So there's always something you can be doing. But God, He remains the same. In a world that's, man, our country sure is changing a lot lately, and the whole virus thing and all that stuff, lots of things are changing, but God remains the same. He never changes. He will never leave us or forsake us, and His years will never end. And that's just very reassuring to know. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay on target.